Greetings and welcome, young lads and lasses, to our Nickelback studio album rankings. I'm Jason. With me is Mr. Bill.
Hello.
He's wild and crazy. And Mr. Tim.
Yeah, we listen to these.
He's old and drunk. All right. Today we're talking The Long Road. And if you missed the previous videos, we are a playlist channel. Link down below for the playlist. You'll see all the bands. You'll see one called Nickelback. Click that. You can watch them all in a row and watch us get drunker as the night goes on. So, The Long Road. I guess I'll start this one off. 11 tracks. From what I can tell, they were all written by the band.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Flat on the Floor. Okay, we got a little speed in the opener. That's welcomed. Well, damn, this may be a top song contender. Best opening track so far. Do This Anymore. The vocals are better. I think I like it better when Chad sings in his higher octave. Musically, they're actually doing a couple new things here and there. Not new things for music, just new things for Nickelback. Funny story, I first heard the lyrics as I don't fucking feel. So I looked it up. It was really, well, no, I don't find faith in your forced feelings. That's not as cool as I don't fucking feel, but whatever. But you get a cute little guitar solo, too. Someday was kind of boring, but it was pretty and different, so I'll take it. Believe It or Not, was this a Creed B-side? Feeling Way Too Damn Good. The verses were a little more thought out lyrically. It was more Green Eggs and Ham, or I Can Read With My Eyes Shut, Dr. Seuss, as opposed to Cat in the Hat or Hop on Pop, Dr. Seuss. So that's an improvement, I guess. Because of You, yeah, Chad, new metal happened 6 years ago. Figured You Out. What the fuck is this song, Bill? Explain. I would also like to point out that the song's single album cover is this. Do you want to try to explain, or you want me to keep going?
So, Figured You Out. Is there a specific thing with it, or just like asking about the lyrics or the music, or?
Okay, I'll continue on then. Not only is the lyrics fucking creepy, they're also back to the Cat in the Hat rhyming. Here is an example. And I love the places that we go. And I love the people that you know. And I love the way you can't say no. Too many long lines in a row. I love the powder on your nose. The fuck are these lyrics?
So I mean, I'll say this: this album was the one that, especially critics, really got after Nickelback for. That was one of their most not radio friendly songs on this.
That's not radio friendly. That's not human friendly. That's not women friendly. That's.
And that's exactly what a lot of people talked about with that one.
I did not know any of this going into this discography.
So welcome to Nickelback. Especially, here's the thing, like, relatively speaking, compared to most of the others, well, not most, basically all the other songs on this album, that's the one that was the most questionable.
Questionable? He's talking about hands around her throat. Hands around your neck.
Well,
no means no, Chad.
And it does.
In English and in French.
And Spanish, by the way. I mean, obviously questionable wasn't the right word to use there either. But it was...
They're disturbing.
Problematic?
They're disturbing.
Yeah.
Problematic. That's a good word.
Should have listened. Yeah, Chad.
After that song.
No, Chad, you don't get to have a song right after Figured It Out. You don't get to have this song right after Figured You Out. Yeah, I guess you should have listened. No means no, Chad. Throw yourself away. Back to boring ass 4-chord post grunge shit. The lyrics are some Scott Stapp shit. Another hole in the head. This song has an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be Bush or Disturbed, so it's kind of stuck in this Eve 6 zone. See you at the show. Very impressive. This is everything I fucking hate all in one song. That's impressive. This is fucking awful, horrible lyrics that some shitty 80s hair metal band could have wrote. If you are writing music to make money and get girls, then you fucking suck, period. I did not like this album as a whole. 2 songs ruined it.
So I put the album on. And I got, through the first song, and it's like, okay, yeah, here we go, more Nickelback. And somewhere like, I don't know, a quarter through the way of the 4th song, I remembered that I needed to do laundry. So I got like a bunch of clothes together and I put them in the hamper and I took them to the laundromat and I put quarters in the machine and I set the dial and then I sat and I watched, for a couple hours. And then I came back and we were like on track 7. And it's like, okay, here we go. And so it's like, okay, we're listening to track 8 at this point. And that's when I noticed my yard really could have used a fence. So I went to the Home Depot and I was hanging out in the lumber yard. And like they were cutting me a bunch of 2x4s and some fucking good slats.
Was this the 18-year-old or was this the other guy?
Their turnover was so high at this point that, like, I had, completely new crew. It was the same vibe, but it was a completely new crew. And then, it's like, okay, so I got all the wood for the fence, so I went and I built the fence, I dug all the holes. I had to get a shovel.
Okay,
you know what a good place to get a shovel is? Home Depot.
Bill, what do you think of the long road? What do you think?
The long road happened. It was a long excursion to go on.
Longer than Home Depot?
I didn't go to Home Depot. Home Depot's a long way away from me. I'll be honest. I will say that for
sponsor us, Home Depot.
Damn right. We'll buy shovels. Anyway,
right? Go
and ladders.
So I'll say this, especially in these next several albums here, the singles were what were big. Even from the last one, Silver Side Up. The singles off of this one were Someday, Should Have Listened, and I don't even remember what the hell the other single
Feeling Way Too Damn Good was the single. I remember that song.
You know how pissed off I would have been if I bought this record. If I heard Should Have Listened and said, oh yeah, that's a great love song, I'm going to buy this record, and I had to listen to fucking Figured You Out before that?
Yeah. So, this was the album as a whole for me. I wasn't a fan of the singles from it, relatively speaking. So, let me get to my notes here. So, Flat on the Floor. Not a big fan of. For an opener, I thought it kind of fell flat for me.
That's like, we're so opposite.
Do this anymore? I really don't want to do this anymore. Someday, it wasn't that great. But again, for the singles on this album, it was good for this album. Believe it or not, all right. Back to the not good follow-ups to an okay song. I see where we're going here. Feeling Good. The only thing good about that song was the pace of it, really. I liked it was a slower pace. Kind of helped break up at least the pace beats that were set everywhere else. This was, the fourth beat that they had to help break up the album. Because of You, well, it was all right. I I kind of liked it a bit. Figured you out. You know, we're just gonna gloss over this one like it didn't happen because it should have never happened, and we're just gonna go to the next one and not talk about it at all. Should have
Yes,
listened.
Jason, I did listen to him.
Should have listened. Goddamn, Chad, you should have listened to the album, to the song you had before this. What the hell are you doing?
I'm fucking putting Chris Hansen in this motherfucker.
Throw Yourself Away, I thought actually was pretty good. Within the album of itself. Another Hole in the Head. I don't know. I kind of liked what they go doing with the instrumentals on it. It is what it is. See You at the Show. God damn, they still don't know how to finish an album. So, let's see here. 2003. I was four, almost 5 years old when this album released. And I can honestly say at this point, I was listening to more from Silverside than I was this album in and of itself. When I got older,
when you're 4 years old, describe to me your stereo setup. Are you running turntables? Are you listening to CDs? Are you just in the back seat while mom plays whatever?
I'm on the bus with the radio at the liberty of whatever the bus driver has on, which most of the time
it's
the default
bus driver.
Whoa! Your bus driver played music?
The default was just the 101.1.
My bus driver didn't play shit.
It was just the default music station that was played. It was the pop music station, whatever was popular with the today's hits.
Sure. Top 40.
WAVB.
Yep, and that's it. Literally was top 40, where you're repeating the songs every 2 to 3 hours.
Used to be the Cube up here in Seattle, KUBE. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that would have been the radio station that would have been. I mean, granted, 2003. This would would have been just before American Idiot, right? Yeah, because American Idiot was 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
Yeah, it's 2004. September 2004.
So, it's not like
right before the election.
And the thing is, I know. Excuse me, and actually I know my bus driver from back then. It's not that he necessarily liked it. It's just, hey, this is what's the pop hits on the radio. In
theory, he
this
didn't want to deal with it. He was tired of babysitting these kids.
Yep, in theory, it's what the kids should have liked the most. Especially like the junior high to high schoolers that were on the bus. Like, hey, hopefully you guys don't complain. Here's what you're listening to. Good luck.
And it's safe. Yeah. You're not going to get any lawsuits from parents. You made my kids listen to...
Because it's on the radio. It's whatever on the top 40 countdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that...
No, I get it. That's how we're all exposed, you know. I get it.
And that radio station was always the top 9 at 9. You know, the top 9 song requests throughout the day. God damn, if I had to listen to another fucking Black Eyed Peas, listening between 9 and 10 o'clock over those span of like 6 years, I was...
Oh, I remember the Black Eyed Peas times. Those were dark times.
Holy shit. It was every fucking top 9 at 9. It would be at least one Black Eyed Peas song. And, you know, some shit was okay, but god damn, they had a lot of bitch.
And then, as a rock fan, like, the best you could hope for was Nickelback.
And that's like, it's like, okay, 2003, like, what else would I have been listening, like,
I mean, Songs for the Deaf's out at this point.
The thing is,
Foo Fighters are putting out One by One.
Here's like, I don't think any of those made the top 40 countdown, top 40 Billboard, did they?
No. Well, Songs for the Deaf cracked it, and I think One by One was a top 10 album.
Well, oh gosh, what would have been from Queens of the Stone Age? It would have been Go With the Flow. But even that one, what, like, it got played, but I will say I don't remember that one significantly being played at that point in time.
Well, because that's when the corporations step in and decide what gets played on the hour.
So
They're
that's
not playing Rage Against the Machine every hour on the hour, but guess who's putting
no.
out albums, you know?
As I say, you went to. I guarantee you, I didn't hear "Killing in the Name of" on the bus as I was going into school.
No, by 2001 they pulled.
They passed all kinds of
Yeah,
laws where Clear Channel was actually like actively banning music in
I
this
mean they
country
banned
again.
John Lennon's Imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So, I guess circling back here to Nickelback. So this was the album for me that was kind of an anomaly in their 2000s to 2010s. From the standpoint, aside from maybe two of these songs, I didn't hear a lot of them on the radio and everything growing up. It was afterwards I kind of heard them. It's like I want to. How do I want to say this? This was the album. It's like okay, this was okay, but this wasn't good for a lot of it.
this was a huge selling record, though.
It
I
was. This
assume
was
it's a
their
fan
what?
favorite.
I want to say this was their fourth most selling record of all time. I think it's either fourth or fifth.
And it might
I know
just be
that.
the Silver Side Up, like high
Well,
help the
that's.
sales.
I mean, that's say it's like, oh, I like the last album. I'm gonna buy the next one because I know, if I remember right, their next two plus Silver Side were all sold more than this one for sure. I can't remember if Here and Now sold more though.
As somebody who didn't listen to the radio and was only exposed to like bullshit outward, I don't remember a song off this one. I remember a song off Silver Side, and I remember a song off All the Right Reasons, but not this one.
So I mean,
So
I remember. As I said, I remember Someday. Someday is the one I really remember off of this album.
my bus driver was more like Otto. He probably just listened to that shit in his own head.
He had his Walkman on, and
Yeah, as of like 15 years ago, it had sold 3.5 million copies. So I'd say it's probably like at 4.5 million, probably at this point.
so that would be their number six. Then I think at that point.
Oh,
Then.
okay. I thought it was one of the bigger ones, but
No, so this was so. I mean, not to like seem like Nickelback's roller coaster. Like their albums really are a goddamn roller coaster, and it's literally it's boom or bust with the radio for them. Either they boomed with the radio and they jived with it, they hit it right, or you got the long road.
And in the 2000s, it had nothing to do with music. The top 40
No.
was nothing but a corporate controlled payola machine that was in bed with the war machine and Clear Channel, which, thanks to the Telecommunications Act in 1996, created a monopoly in this country. And since that act also addressed the internet, we're also now under the influence of a singular internet. And now the Matrix is real, and Nickelback are the soundtrack to it.
hey, we'll be talking about that exact same scenario next week when we talk about Propaganda. They got a song about that.
It happened.
All right, so it's be Tim's turn to guess this one.
Yeah.
Something tells me Tim's gonna be a little wrong here.
I think you'll both have it in third place.
You're
Hold on, this
wrong for
motherfucker-
me.
Okay, you got yours wrong. That's good. Oh no, I lost my rankings.
Okay, so Bill, you're going to move it up to second place?
Second place for me, yes.
Okay. Jason, you'll have it in last place?
You are damn right. I stopped reading my final notes to stop spoiling it, but I say the first three tracks were really solid, and I had hopes for it for the first time since starting this discography. But boy, did Figure It Out just completely fucking kill it. For that one song, fuck this album, it's going to the bottom of the list. I didn't even talk about the closing track.
All right, so now the hard one, Tim. Where are you ranking it?
I'm gonna put it third.
All right. Well, Bill and I still got the same number one. No, Tim and Bill got the same number one.
I said, Jason, usually not
Hashtag
really.
first album bias.
Oh my god! I can't believe you still got that one number one.
It's not my number one overall, but I'm not going to say when it's going to get knocked out. But it will get knocked out. I'll give you that.
Oh, stay tuned.
Stay
Oh,
tuned.
it's coming.
We getting spicy with the next one because we driving down the road. All
Again,
the wrong
for like
reasons.
the 5th time. Jesus.
That's an Ed Connick album cover. I'll give him that.
It is. Yes.
I mean, it could also be an Incubus album cover.
Yeah.
Could also be like an Audio Slave cover.
Yeah. What's the difference? Stick around, like, subscribe. If you like Nickelback, like and subscribe. If you don't like Nickelback, like and subscribe. We rotate out each week, so you never know what you're going to get. Be safe. Make good decisions. No means no.
Imagine there